I think this thing will be maneuverable enough once I lose the big thing on the bottom. We'll find out, I suppose. Now, one thing is I do have a contract. We shan't forget that. To position a satellite in a specific orbit of Earth. And the satellite has specific parameters that we have to shoot for. And the thing we do have to consider, excuse me, oh, okay, is, yeah, there it is, that blue orbit. Let's turn everything else off. So that blue orbit we has to go for. Now, I'm thinking, because again, our latitude's up here. Oh, we'll never be... I was about to say I should time warp until I'm below that orbit, but that will never ever happen. So what I'm thinking then... Ooh, how am I... No, I'm thinking I'm just going to go for it. I'm thinking, yeah, I got a plan. I'll execute my plan and I'll explain as I go as to how to get to that orbit. But for now, we're just going to go into an orbit. So throttle up, SAS on, move this to here, and actually we can minimize that. And, oh shoot, it had haven't, oh gosh darn flag. Okay, wait, we're going to recover this. Have an accelerometer on the side. I get burned by that stuff like all the time. Don't worry, this won't take long. I get burned by this stuff all the time. Do I have a heat shield for this new rocket? No, it's not going to come back. It ain't coming back. I'm not sure if I have those things unlocked yet anyway. I'm pretty sure SCANsat is on CCAN. I think I installed it that way. Pretty sure. You might have to lower what CCAN considers acceptable. Okay, we're going to recover that rocket. That just takes a couple of hours. And then we're going to go in here, and it's sitting in storage, and we're going to edit it. I always get burned with the no accelerometer stuff. I don't read contracts with enough detail. I just kind of go. Didn't I say at the beginning of this whole series of streams that I was going to go slower? I don't think I'm doing that. That I was going to take my time. I was going to think about what I'm doing. No, I don't do any of that. Okay, so let's open up the contract. So the contract here says that I must have an accelerometer on the satellite, which makes no sense, but that's okay. So we're going to sneak this up in here. Right here. That's where she's going to go. And just because it's bugging me just even to see it, I'm going to hide it in here and go in there. We're never going to use it, so why not? Okay, there we go. So now I do have the double C seismic accelerometer. Now it's going to take 9 days? How can it take 9 days for those? Wow. That's crazy. Why would it take 9 days to just mount an accelerometer on there? I don't know. The workers around here. Okay, we're going to save those changes anyway. 9 days? Okay, let's see. Back to here again. Oh, the tracking station's now going to get done. Oh, I don't know which I think this is the one I just edited. Yeah, it's to take 9 days. Okay, so let's... They're going to build a whole new octo in less time than it takes. Okay, we got our new tracking station. A whole new octo could be built quicker than it takes just to put that accelerometer on the one we're using. That makes no sense. Okay, we're going to try that again. We're trying that again. You can't just get good engineers these days. Okay. So, this is the Octo 2. Now we do have our accelerometer. All right. Again, I'm going to look at my map here, my orbit. See what I think. Actually, I think, again, I'm in a good spot. And I'll explain that in maybe come a little bit forward. I got this idea. We're going to push. Yeah. I want my descending node of my parking orbit to be underneath the periapsis and then the other node to be underneath the apoapsis. And for that to happen, I'm pretty sure I need to launch so that I'm 90 degrees from the line. Well, I guess that would be the semi-major axis of this ellipse, but the line joining periapsis and apoapsis. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. So I'm going to launch here. We're going to go for it. So there, and go. Oh, this game really hates me. It really hates me. Okay, so our engine blew up. That's not our fault, but it does happen. So we're going to recover. This time I'm going to do just a normal recovery. Wow. It does not want us to do this rocket. Well, I do have another one being built, but now that one needs to be edited too. So into here we're going to go. We got to put edit that. We got to put the seismic accelerometer on there. There is an option here. I should maybe show this to people. Maybe this isn't a bad idea. Oh, thank you, Dale, for the sub. Okay, we got to put the seismic accelerometer on there. So we got to do that again. We're going to get this one off one way or another. So our first one blew up because it just did. Because it's mean that way. Do the same thing, gonna hide it, never look at you again, because there's no science for you to collect anyway. There we go. So that takes care of that. There is an option that if you right click on the engine to change the engine standard to a high standard. So that will increase or decrease the likelihood of an engine failure. But it costs more money and adds weight. Like you can see my delta V going down when I do that. I'm not going to do that. Maybe when I put Kerbals on these things I might do it, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so again, that's going to take 9 days, 3 hours and 55 minutes to put in those edits. So let's do that. So save. Oh, that's great, Dale. I'm glad some of those videos are helping you get into KSP. There is a really crazy steep learning curve with this game. I honestly don't know how it's expected for people to play this game. Sorry, I'm doing something at the same time here. This is what I want. I want to go to plans. I want to push in another octo. I don't know how it's expected for people to play this game without there being a community behind them, to get just the basics on how the stupid game works. Well, it's not stupid. It's just the physics are real, and that makes it hard. Okay, we're gonna try this. This is attempt number 3. Attempt number 3. So the first one was on me. Did not put an accelerometer on it, so I didn't have the contract requirements met. The second one was on the game. My engine exploded. Though I did put on the cheap engine and refused to upgrade it, so I guess that's partially on me too. And now we're going for number 3. Now we're going for number 3. Okay, so Octo 2. We do have the accelerometer. Okay, do that. Do that. And, oh wait, I want to look at where we are again. Where are we? I'm just going to launch. Let's just launch. So, boom, 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 go. Okay, we're off. We have cleared our tower, not tower. So far so good. Gonna knock this over to the east. And just temporarily take off the SAS and let it kind of go up natural-like. Well, this does make me nervous. I'm going to be really happy when I have the lock to prograde option. I like my lock to prograde option. Oh, I got my time to apoapsis now! That's exciting. That's with the, I can say words. The upgrading of the tracking station has given me that. So what I like to do is not let this time to apoapsis get more than a minute away from me. So I'm going to start reducing throttle. Try and sort of keep this time to apoapsis a constant. I find that it's just... I find it's more efficient that way. And especially when you get to the upper part of the ascent, you end up putting a lot of energy into that raising of that periapsis so that your final burn is really much less than it otherwise would be. So I'm keeping it around the prograde vector. And keeping adjusting throttle to keep that time to apoapsis close to a constant. Oh. Prograde vector just hopped over on me. There we go. I do have lock to prograde now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I thought I upgraded the tech. Okay. Wow. I am a sad, sad boy. Alright, we have lock to prograde now. That's awesome. So I'm just gonna, again, now I'm just playing with the throttle. I'm not working to keep it on the prograde vector. It's doing that all by itself. Okie doke. Okie doke. But you can see now that periapsis really starting to climb. I think that's where this efficiency comes in, so that by the time you're ready to do the final insertion, you have hardly anything left to do. I'm just going to let this build now. I'm not going to adjust the throttle anymore until this gets to about 80. Okay. So 70 kilometers on that. I have to, although it says apoapsis, we can use the word apogee now, as we are above the Earth. I like that. So just letting the apogee build up to 80. Almost in space, too. That's good. And then we'll have a teeny tiny little nothing burn to... Okay, that is our space music. We can deploy our antenna. And now I really like that I don't have to guess how close I am to apoapsis. I can see how close I am to apoapsis, so we can get ourselves a little bit closer. A little bit more of a burn. We'll be leaving some debris behind. I'm going to keep the fuel that's in this tank. Yeah, I know. Some people really hate debris. I just delete it after a while. Figure, you know, as long as part of it's still in low orbit, that eventually it would deorbit in a real game anyway, in the real world. Drag would bring it back down. We'd have no idea where it would come down. It would come down, you know, might come down on someone's house, but that's what Kerbal Space Program is like. We don't care where our boosters come down. Okay, really close to apoapsis, just doing a little bit of throttle here. Oh, I gotta watch it. I only have so many ignitions. Stop being so dense. Oh, I forgot I'm playing with Kerbalism. I can't be that way. There's a limited number of ignitions on this engine. It says now I got 0 ignitions left, so I might not be able to get another ignition out of it because I was being very wasteful there. But we will... Actually, I got a ton of electricity. I don't need to be cautious, do I? No, I don't. Okay. Now let's plot our course out to our orbit. If I lose that... That's okay. So I want to get out to this orbit. You can see it's in a different inclination than I am. So I want to do a burn right under this DN. And it probably would be better if that DN was underneath the PE, but it isn't. That's why I was before talking about, come on, time warping a little bit, but I then just went, nah. So I wanted this AN right on the, or the apoapsis right on the AN is what I'm shooting for. So we'll do a little bit of time changing here. This burn is coming up pretty quick, so I got to be ready for it. Push that up. A little bit more time back this way. Okay, let's just call it, because the burn's coming. The burns are coming. I'm just going to lock the prograde and then I'm going to punch it. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it ignited, so that's good. And then we're on this little fella. I just locked the prograde rather than go into the maneuver node because I was running out of time there. I'm glad I got that extra ignition out of there. I got to be careful about that. How many ignitions are on this one? 16 ignitions on that little one, so that's cool. Okay, let's watch it from out here. Beautiful. Beautiful. So that's got my apoapsis in the right, close to the right spot. So now I want to do a burn out here near my AN. This will be partially to bring up my periapsis, but partially as well to bring down my inclination. So it's going to be a combined burn like that. And then I should be able to match this orbit. And do I need to get the right argument of the periapsis and all that kind of nonsense? Yes. So the fact that there's an argument of periapsis here and a longitude of the ascending node tells you that you need to get this periapsis and apoapsis and the ascending and descending nodes all in the right spot. So I'll show you how to do that. It's not that hard. I still got to get the inclination down a bit, though. I can see that. So let's put this back on the maneuver. The and that I'm just doing by eyeball, the inclination adjustment when I fine tune it. So you can see here my periapsis is out way too. First of all, it's out too far, so I know I got to give myself a little bit of retrograde on that. I got it out too far, but to actually move it from here towards here, you use the radial components. And I always guess it. Okay, it's radially out. That'll do it. If I sit there and think about it, it makes sense, but I don't like to think, so I just try one and then go, nope, that's too much. I can see that I can give myself a little more here. See, and that's getting it close. And I'm going to go a little past. Give me you there we go. A little bit past. And now I'm going to use a little retrograde to bring that back down. A little more there. A little more there, a little more there. See, and you can nudge those periapsis and apoapsis so they're very close to where they need to be, which they do need to be there because I'm supposed to get a specific argument of the periapsis. I can see my inclination is too much, so I need to come this way. So it's a little bit of playing around, but oh boy, we're already pretty close. And you don't have to be all that close, to be quite honest. A little bit of radialness. Oh, I got this set way too low. Out a little less energy, a little radial this way. Okay. You can already see there's, again, too much energy in the orbit. Radial again. I could tell because... Oh no, I gotta go the other way. The apoapsis was too high. That's pretty darn close. I mean, eyeballing it's going to be close enough. You don't if it's eyeballed to be the same, then it's good enough. So this is a 586 or 87 meter per second burn. Still got 1961 meters per second left in the vehicle. So this vehicle can do a lot more than what it is doing. Again, I'm going to do a little bit of exposure. See, the reaction wheels are fine. I'm able to slug this thing around without any issues. I'm doing that, by the way, just to demonstrate how good the reaction wheels are. So I knew as soon as I lost that lower half, I'd be able to do this. So I'm going to, again, go onto this north circle and then just adjust it so that it's pointing straight up on the screen, and then that gives me good exposure on those. Okay, so F5, like that. I always do that before I do some time warping. Let's just push the old warp to the maneuver thingy. That should do it. Yep. Warp out there. Goodbye, Earth. Coming around this way. Okay, now I got to find that maneuver node. I love orbital maneuver. I think of all the things in this game, it's fine orbital maneuvering that gives me just the most satisfaction. That and docking and putting things together in space. So we're pointing in a funny direction. There's a little bit of prograde, a little bit of normal, a little bit of radial, a little bit of everything going on in this guy. Just keep fiddling around to get this onto the maneuver node. I can't wait till I get the little ant engines and those kind of things. I like, though, having a little spark. Okay, 4, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a go. You know, the dedicated orbital type of engines. Okay. And all I got to really look at is look at this condition on this contract and wait for it to go green. As soon as this goes green over here, I'm going to just cut my throttle. You start reducing the throttle as we get close. Oh, there it is. See, the words went green, so now it's just the old wait for 10 seconds. Got my hands all the way, just to prove that I'm in a I'm stable. There we go. Contract is complete. Awesome source. So we got this nice satellite here. Again, positioning it for solar panels, doing absolutely nothing. No science for it to do, but it is, I think, a good proof of concept. It still has almost 1,400 meters per second of delta V in it. We can... Oh, I can get rid of the maneuver node. That doesn't matter. It can most certainly do a flyby of the moon. It most certainly was that other bigger orbit that we could go to. I got a feeling I'm going to be using this design for this rocket for a few missions to come.